Welcome to Seat Time, everybody, the off-road show that brings you all the results, news, and online shenanigans that make being online a good time. We'd like to say thank you to Fly Racing for their support of Seat Time. Please go check them out at flyracing.com. Welcome to Seat Time, everybody. Brian Pierce here. Episode 120. I would love to say that we've had some strange bipolar weather, but honestly, it's been pretty nice for the past couple of days. Something totally kicked me in the butt today when I was at work, but I'm fighting through it. Came home, took a bunch of drugs. Going through some BC powder to get some caffeine, having a little bit of Diet Coke with some extra caffeine. Thank you, true legend Kurt Caselli, of course. That koozie, you got to rock it when you can. Thank you guys for tuning in, whether you're live or if you're archived or not. If you're archived, remember you can tune in live every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time at seattime.co/live. And then, of course, on the site, everything is archived. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. You can search for Seat Time and find us all over those places if you are in the mood. Big thanks to our sponsors. Hopefully you saw it there in the very beginning. We've been with Fly Racing since the very beginning that they found us, if you will. And we definitely appreciate their help. It's been fantastic. Guys like Ride PG, Powersport Graphics have come on last year. Big supporters of Seat Time. And, of course, Stillwell's Performance. They were on a little bit later last year, and they've come back as a supporter of Seat Time. So very, very happy to have that happen. And, if I have any house cleaning that needs to be done besides everything that we just went through, it's that we do have our Beer Olympics pint glasses from the event that we had last year. Of course, as always, I'm overzealous. I ordered too many. I'm clearing them out, man. $5. You pretty much buy it for $4.99. Shipping's $5, so $9.99, $10. You have yourself a full, proper pint glass. Now, why I say proper pint is because a proper pint glass, 20 ounces, so 16 ounces of beer or liquid, and then 4 ounces of fantastic frothy head, as any good beer should have. That's how you have a proper pint. So make sure you enjoy a pint full of awesome with your Seat Time glass. Obviously, once we get rid of all these guys, go through these guys, we can order more of the traditional Seat Time pint glasses, which I should have poured my Diet Coke in. But I did not. It happens. It's crazy. It's going to be a good time. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up. We had a lot of fun 2 weeks ago. We didn't have a show last week because my new baby girl was born. Everything went awesome. People are having fun. I would tell you so many cool things, but that's not what this show is about. Again, that's one of my other shows. Look them up. Is it the adult-friendly one or the one where I talk about all the cool stuff you can do with your kids? Those shows are in no way related, so it works out for everybody out there on the internet. But I had so much fun with the kind of random back and forth roundtable discussions that we had 2 weeks ago that I asked Mr. Jason Hooper, one, if he would kindly oblige us and come back on the show, and two, if he would kind of be our guest for the entire show, so that way he could kind of run some shots towards me, I can run some shots toward him, we can we can chat about a lot of the stuff that's going on in the world, and we're going to have Kailub Russell and Josh Strang join us in our little hangout later on. I talked to Gary Sutherland. We've got some stuff about works and what's going on with the West Coast hair scrambles to fill that in. So now that I've chatted for at least 4 to 5 minutes about all the fun stuff that's going on to get you up to date of where we're at, and I don't even know if I'm there with you, Mr. Jason Hooper, how is your evening going, kind sir?
It's going pretty good so far. I think you just heard my baby crying a little while ago. So
yes, you as well are in the baby club, but you got there sooner. You were what? You're like 5 months in?
Yeah, exactly. 5 months on Saturday. So, I think Krista's got her calmed down. So hopefully we'll be good to go for the rest of the night.
By no means is it going to upset me or any of the viewers, because pretty much everybody out there either has kids or knows that people have kids. Stuff happens. It's just kind of the way it goes.
Right.
So we didn't know if 2 weeks ago we were going to have to cut the show short and I was going to run out because we might be having a baby. So that's just the way it rolls sometimes. You got to live life. So it has been a long time since you've been on the show. People who follow digital off-road, things like that, they may know, they may keep up with you, but I know that there's other people out there who don't get that chance, but enjoy hearing about what the runner, the connoisseur, the proprietor of digitaloffroad.com, what he's been up to these days.
Well, obviously the last 2 weeks I've been at the GNCC opening rounds, Florida and then Georgia. The week before that I was at the opening round of the National Enduros. before and leading up to that, I didn't do much of anything, man. It was awesome. I had about the best off season I've ever had, just kind of hanging out with the fam. So now we're back into the grind, and it's pretty much every weekend from here till I don't even know when. So it's good.
Yeah, because you do a lot of National Enduro and GNCC and then some other stuff as well. So you kind of do. You go weekend to weekend to weekend.
Yeah, yeah. This year I'm not going to do as many national enduros.
Okay.
Trying to keep the wife from divorcing me in our second year of marriage. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'll be doing all the GNCCs, of course, some national enduros. I don't even know whatever else comes my way. So it's fun though. I mean, there are a lot worse ways to make a living. That's what I tell everybody. So
Yeah, that's sure. We could be shoveling shit somewhere in like Yugoslavia.
right, yeah, it's
Or
not hard work. So.
yeah, exactly. I wanted to know. So you've been. I think I remember seeing quite a few pictures of you doing a lot of triathlons over what we would call your off season as well. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah, I did a half Ironman back at the beginning of February down in Key West with my buddy Brad. Strang and I actually did one back in August up in Michigan. So for some dumb reason, I signed up for another one. That's the second time I've said I would never do one again. And so I don't know. I'm trying to stay fit. I don't know. I think it's because you hang around with all these racer guys and they're all insanely fit, and you just kind of you gain like 2 pounds and you feel fat. So I don't know. And it's fun because it gives me something to do other than sit in front of the computer, which I'm sure you know drives
Yes.
you completely batshit crazy after a 10, 12-hour day. So I sneak out and ride my bike and swim and run and stuff. So it's fun.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I'm glad you've been staying healthy. That's good. It's just, I think I as well kind of stick to my own little training regimen. I go to the Camp Gladiator boot camp. It's like 2 to 3 times a week. Want to get back into CrossFit, of course. And I think that that's good. You know, I see a lot of people, they're not really, I guess, keeping what you would call healthy habits, you know, going on a bunch of diets, doing all this kinds of stuff. But you know, I think finding that good routine and really making sure you're putting your body through the paces and doing what it's built to do, which is pretty much lift shit and move it
Yeah.
around, then we're making sure that we're having a good time. But we're not here to talk about how sexy I might look without a shirt on, or how good looking you would look in lycra. Again,
Right.
that's probably next Saturday's show, I think. Chamois or no chamois, we're going live. So GNCCs have been absolutely insane so far. It seems like that this might be the year of the monsoon. So
Dude.
it's had to have been crazy for you guys.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, like what was crazy the first round, the weather was perfect, but the place was a swamp basically.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
yeah, so the weather was beautiful. That's what was like so crazy about it. It was sunny skies, beautiful weather, and just mud everywhere. So yeah, that was crazy. And then this past Sunday was not sunny. It was awful weather. It was cold and it rained pretty much the entire day. I think it started raining around 2 or 3 in the morning, and it rained pretty much until after the podium. So it was yeah, that one was crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen that much standing water on a racetrack in my life. It was pretty insane. So
Yeah.
yeah, I hope we got all the rain out of the way in one weekend, and well, we won't have any more mutters because it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
Filming in that is miserable. It's trying to keep your equipment good, and riding in it, I mean, isn't much fun either, and it's hard on everybody's shit. It ruins my stuff just as it ruins people's bikes and stuff. So nobody wants to any more mutters, that's for sure.
Right? Well, I have to ask. We've talked to guys like Jared Bolton, Jeremy Saylor beforehand when we did our like pre-GNCC show, and they were chatting about what they had heard and what they knew going into the track in the venue, the new Florida venue, 30 minutes away from all the Bike Week stuff, which is great for all the viewers and racers and all that kinds of stuff to get to be around all the other fun stuff going on. But now, what did you think about the venue? Did you get a chance to go out and see other events and do other things, or are you locked down and you just saw the track and that was a track?
Yeah, well, I mean, I explored the property a little bit, but I mean, it's a massive chunk of land. They have like 11,000 acres there
Good
that they
Lord.
can use. But like I said, a lot of it is swamp land, like underwater, and there's a big chunk of it that you can't get to from where we used as a staging area and parking and stuff like that. So I think there's other entrances, and maybe if we end up going back there, they might look into a different place. But man, once I got to the track, I was pretty much locked down. I didn't make it to the Supercross or anything because that's the only I don't know if I don't want to call it a downside because I don't want to make anybody mad, but I have to work the ATV day too.
Right.
So, I shoot all day Saturday of the ATVs and I'm downloading footage, doing a highlight video and all that. So then to get back up the next morning. So I was not a fan of the new Florida weekend that we had, where it was Saturday, Sunday race instead of, before it was Sunday, Saturday ATV practice, Sunday ATV race, Monday bike practice, Tuesday bike race. That was, I kind of liked that. I was like easing my way into the season where I wasn't having to like just pin it right off the get go. So yeah, it was a pretty gnarly weekend. So I didn't get to see much of Daytona other than the Mud Mucker facility, but.
Do you think that has there been talk that this is going to be the facility for Florida next year?
I haven't heard. I honestly haven't heard a word. I know that the proximity to Daytona was something that everybody was happy about.
Right. I bet. Yeah. More viewers.
Yeah, and like when I first started coming to the GNCCs, the Florida GNCC was the one where all the industry people would come because it was so close to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the last few years we were down in River Ranch and it was a couple hours away from Daytona, so it wasn't as easy for guys to sneak over and check out the race. And I saw a lot more just industry people in general at the race on Sunday.
Right.
So I mean it's pretty nice to have some manufacturer bigwigs and then the aftermarket guys that can actually come to the race. So I'd be surprised if we end up. I don't think we'll be back anywhere near like where River Ranch was, and I think the landowner was happy. So I mean, they ride ATVs and stuff there, so I mean they kind of knew what they were getting into. And
right.
so I know that a lot of the riders might not have been super thrilled, but it definitely wasn't your typical Florida GNCC. I didn't see many sand whoops out there. It was definitely different, but.
Yeah, I did hear that a lot. That a lot of people were chatting about the fact that they were like prepared for their quads and doing all their squats before the season to get ready for all the sand whoops, and none. They didn't exist. It was just mud bog to mud bog to mud bog. Do you think? Say they're gonna go back next year. Okay, they're going back to Mud Mucker. Do they try to lay the track out different to maybe not have as many mud holes, or is it just maybe that time of year that brought that much kind of weather into it, and it's like a low level? It's like, how do they think ahead for that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I don't really know. Like, it's pretty low-lying land, and I mean, so much of Florida is just like barely above like sea level or whatever. So I don't know if there's a ton of stuff that they could do different. I know that there's a body of water that they could need to get across, so there would have to be like a bridge built of some sort, and there's more property that they can get to, and that kind of like opens it up a lot. Now I don't know if that's something that if this is going to be a place that we're going to continue to go, maybe they can do that. We did get rain leading into the race, which certainly didn't help. When it rained Thursday, I think, maybe before that. I just remember I got there Thursday and it was raining, so that didn't help things any. So I mean, it's hit or miss. I know we've had some pretty, like, before I started coming back, like 2004, 2005, in this similar area, Palatka, they had a couple just completely crazy, rainy, wet races there. And, I mean, it's just part of the deal, I guess, when you get that part of Florida where the water table's not too far from the top of the ground, so you get much, and you get down into it, and the water just comes out of nowhere. So
right.
I don't know, man. I mean, there was parts of the track that were cool. There was, I don't know, 3 or 4 miles of grass track. It looked like a 6 days grass track out there. It was sick.
Is that where Mullins made the pass on Whibley? I know they said he passed them in a big field towards the end. I don't know if that was it or not.
Yeah, that's what I think. That was one. But yeah, that was where that happened. And Charlie actually had a big crash out there too. He had like a third gear high side out in that thing. But that was like, I thought that was cool. I don't know. Maybe it was just too much of one extreme to the other for some folks, but I don't know. I mean, it's funny. I don't know. Like, you hear the old school guys complain when races are too hard or too gnarly, and now people are complaining when the race is too hard or too gnarly. So you can't make everybody happy. So I don't know.
And we don't need to. I've had a lot of fun, even though we're in Texas. I've had a lot of fun catching up with the GNCC live webcast. It's been really cool. They've done a great job with that. It's a little tough sometimes when, say, like they say, we're going live at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is noon for me, but then you go on at noon and there's no real update that says, hey, we're the only thing. I would just like, it's like, hey, we're running late. Okay, cool. Like, that's my only thing. But I've loved it. I've been doing work. I've had the computer up. Then another thing that's weird though is, and this is just because of the fact that I'm a web geek. If you're on your mobile device and you have it in portrait mode, they probably have a media query in there that hides the video player. You have to go into landscape and hit play, and then you can turn it back to actually watch video in portrait. Like if you just have it in your charger or something because you're just listening to it. And I was like, what the deuce? So, of course, me being the web developer was like, what? This is stupid. But hey, it's whatever. I'm okay with it. Maybe.
That's not my department, but I know who to pass you on to, so I can. And
Well,
unfortunately, when I'm at the track, I don't have the opportunity to check that stuff out, so it's hard to
Right.
know how things are working. But
Well, I don't need to make any more friends at the GNCC at Racer Production, so you just keep it to yourself that I said something, and we'll just.
I don't have to tell them who I got the info from.
There you go. I like that. An anonymous source said X. All right.
Right.
So we're going to be bringing Kailub Russell on pretty soon. Steven, now's a chance. Let's give that guy a text, and we're going to get him in here. Kailub Russell, 9th in the standings, coming out of round 1. First place at the Muddy Maxis General, if you will, there in Georgia this past weekend. A lot of people, even us, we talked about it on our show. Is Kailub Russell going to repeat as, XC1, GNCC overall champion? And Hoop, your immediate reaction to that is what?
He didn't give himself a very good start in Florida, that's for sure. But I mean, he's definitely capable of it. I don't know. I mean, he showed this past weekend that he can win in conditions at pretty much any condition, right? And he showed some serious speed in Florida before, after the crash, before he had the bike issues. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since anybody's been able to repeat. It was David Knight was the last guy to do it. So,
Right.
2008. So, Wibbs wasn't able to, Strang wasn't able to, Mullins wasn't able to, and Wibbs wasn't able to do it again. So, recent history says that it's going to be hard for him, and the results from the first 2 races show that there's some guys that are going to be in the mix. Wibbs is back to his old self.
Yeah.
He's going fast. Strang is going fast. Charlie and Kailub, I think, are probably still just a smidge faster than everybody else, but I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's going to be interesting. It's been cool to
Yeah,
watch live because I'm not feeling like I have to get a race report or wait for these videos to come out for me to get updates. It's like being able to watch it, at least listen to it even when I have it on and I'm doing something else in the garage or whatever. Has been really cool.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with Jordan Ashburn's finish this past weekend. It seems that when stuff gets tough, for some reason, for whatever reason, and obviously he's way faster than me, he really likes to come out on top. Or at least on the podium.
Yeah, he's solid in the mud and the gnarly stuff, and I know he did pretty well that first year they had the Tennessee knockout. So I think he's a little bit more well-rounded than some of the other guys, and it's kind of surprising because you're not used to seeing him battle up front for wins. He's always like a podium threat, top 5 guy for sure. So.
Yeah.
And I just remembered in the preview show thing I did with Rodney, I picked Kailub to repeat for the championship. So I don't want to go back on that. So yes, Caleb's going to win the championship again. I don't want to be a flip flopper.
Yeah,
So.
I hear that. Nobody likes a flip flopper. You're like going out with a chick, you totally think you're gonna score, and then at the last second she pulls the big on you, and you're like, whoa, what is this? You don't want to be that gal.
It's not going to be easy though. I will say that. I think he's got his work cut out for him. But why not? Somebody's got to go back to back, man.
Yeah.
I'm tired of watching all these guys struggle with the number 1 plate. I must kind of feel bad for him,
That's a good point. One of the things that Jared brought up that really kind of solidified for me, I'm definitely like you know what? I don't think he can do it. I think there's so many other good racers out there, and it seems that a lot of other guys, like Whibley's coming back, and it shows. Strang's on a better bike, or at least he's riding better on this new bike. We're going to talk with him about that a little bit later. But then Jared was like, hey, Kailub's the only XC2 guy to repeat a championship. And I was like, ooh. So he knows how to not be cursed by that number 1. And so that
kid, he's won so many races. It's kind of like watching this past weekend. They're talking about Cian Cerullo and how he's just so used to winning. I mean, Caleb's won his entire life.
Right.
Minis, when he moved up to big bikes in the A class, he went 9 for 9 and closed out 200A. He led every single lap his first year on a big bike of the A class. Like, and, you know what I mean? Like, so he's used to winning. So when he gets out front, it doesn't phase him. He expects to win, I think. So, I mean, he's won a lot of races the last couple of years. So,
Yeah, it's nuts, man. Sorry, we're having issues with Google Plus because of the fact that, of course, there's like a bunch of Kailub Russells, and even though I'm the one, what's that? I don't know. Just click them all. We might get some random Kailub Russell from the middle of nowhere. So hey, what happened?
does he have imposters?
Yes, that's probably what it is. Or he had a Google Plus page, right when it first came out, and then didn't do it. Started another one, but it's still out there because Google doesn't delete anything. And
Yeah, I've got two, and I
yep,
don't use it.
we noticed that too. When we sent you the invite, we were like, "Ooh, 2 Jason Hoopers. We're gonna send it to both of them."
Yeah, because I show up and the people I might know. You might know Jason Hooper. You have 20 common friends. I'm like, oh great. Yeah, I've heard about that guy before.
Yeah, obviously he's the one.
He looks awfully familiar.
Right. So hopefully, Kailub, it sounds like we got a little bit of a sign that he's on. Kailub, your video is probably coming up. Yes, there's your glorious head. So if you can hear us, we got Jason Hooper on, and so he's going to be able. He's here. He's a punching bag if you need to make fun of him, but at the same time, you're his as well. So don't feel like you guys have to hold back any. So how the hell you doing right now, man?
Phase 216.
Talking to me?
Yeah, talking to you.
I'm doing pretty good. Just hanging out with my brother-in-law, playing some cards and watching some basketball here on the TV.
And flipping your hair.
Yeah.
That's nice. Well, dude, I have to say congratulations on making up such a horrible deficit from the very beginning this past weekend at the General. I think a lot of people question right off the bat, what happened in Florida? I know that I saw all kinds of crazy stuff going on, like you getting pushed from the pits. It looked like you had a lot of issues with goggles, all that kinds of stuff. So what happened in Florida with your 9th overall?
It was kind of a glamour of a few things, but the bad start didn't help anything for sure. So,
and was that all your fault? Did you just grab a fistful of Brembo brakes and say, "Suck it behind me, bitches"?
No, I didn't grab any brakes at all.
I just plowed into that bitch.
No, the guy in front of me got a little bit squirrely, and he lost a little bit of track, which is.
Oh,
Is that me or is that all of us?
that's him. Poop. Him and his awesome internet. See, we need to file a suit with his brother-in-law for having poor Wi-Fi.
You want me to talk about his first turn crash until he comes back?
I would love for you to do that. That was one of my questions
Hello?
for you. Hey.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, keep going with your first turn crash.
There's no internet.
Can you hear us, Mr. Russell?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, keep telling us about
Yeah.
your first turn crash because we had a little bit of a hiccup there.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going around the first turn, and the guy in front of me, Yako, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but the South African guy, he kind of like slid out a little bit, and when his back wheel was straightening out, it clipped. I tried to avoid it, but I was already right in the line of the back wheel, and it barely clipped my front wheel and just high-sided me straight away. And everybody hit me from there because it was right in the middle field. So
Yeah, and then you were the one
yeah, it was
left
pretty-
doing the fun dance.
pretty
it
awesome to
looked
see
like.
all the KTM down the first turn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I got up, did a little break dance, and threw my goggles off.
Love it, love it. Yeah, it was funny. I was like looking at these pictures. Hoop had a couple good ones. Obviously, the GNCC guys posted those up, and I was like, well, hell, that's not the way anybody wants to start this season. That sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't. It definitely didn't help matter. Especially, I got up and I threw my goggles off because my canister broke off, and Scott's got this new thing that goes underneath the film, and it was hanging off my goggles. So I thought it looked like my lens when I first glanced at it. When I opened my eyes up after I was laying on the ground taking a nap, and so I just ripped them straight off and threw them away. And I forgot that Tanner didn't have an extra set of goggles like right there with him. So I rode the whole first lap with no goggles. Well, not the whole first lap. I got goggles at like probably the 7-mile marker or something, and which really sucked because I was right behind Charlie, or might have been right in front of him on the first lap. We were probably like 6th and 7th or something, and then I dropped back to 10th after I got new goggles, and then I rode like a pissed off teenager, crashing all over the place and making rookie mistakes. So
yeah. So is that what it was for you? For once that wreck happened, you were just kind of, were you like overriding? You said you were riding like a pissed off teenager. Was a lot of that, kind of what the result that you ended up with? Because I mean, your bike not starting coming out of the pits seems like a whole nother thing.
Yeah. We haven't got there yet.
Okay, continue on with it. I apologize. Continue, sir. You're better than me. I know it.
No, yeah. I wasn't riding really very calculated, you could say, I guess, but I was just all over the place, pinballing up everything and making dumb mistakes and just losing time left and right. So, and every time I'd catch up, like I'd fall down like 2 or 3 times, and I'd caught up like, I don't know, three. I probably fell down 15 times the first 3 or 4 laps. It was ridiculous. But
sound like you're not racing like I do.
Yeah. I've never seen you ride, but I can only imagine.
That's the way it happens. Let's just go with it.
But yeah, the whole pit thing, I'm not positive if that was the start of my bike kind of failing, or if it was my boss and wife flooded my bike out for me. So I'm not sure on that part, but when I was gassing up, my bike stalled out because they shave neutral down, and it's really hard to find coming into pits. And I came in, I didn't have it in neutral, it stalled out. They dumped the gas in it, and Auntie was trying to refire the bike, and he told Chandler to give it gas, and Chandler just turned it wide open, and they think it just flooded it. So, which is funny, you talk about flooding a fuel injected bike, it can be done. So, but but right after that, I caught back up to Thad and Josh, and I was right behind those two, and my bike flamed out and just wouldn't run. And the temperature, I guess you could say the thermostat on the thing went bad. It was giving it a false reading. And after that, I got my bike bump started, and after that, I had no clutch. So my clutch just like magically evaporated. So and it wasn't like it was slipping. I just had no play in the clutch at all, and you can't adjust it because it's hydraulic. So it was a pretty bummer day. I'm just glad I finished and got points though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was disappointing to say that when I got to watch the live feed and everything and kind of see how you finished. We did have, I wouldn't say we had bets, but we definitely chatted a lot when we had our pre-GNCC season about how you would do, how Charlie would do, how a lot of other riders would do. Were you going to repeat championships and all that kinds of stuff?
I watched it.
Did you? Thanks.
Yeah.
We appreciate you being such a fantastic fan. Well, what's fun is you're now on it.
Yeah. No, I watched it. Well, I actually watched it while I was driving down to Florida, and give me a little bit of inspiration there. Not thinking I can do it. So
yep.
That's what really motivates me is like.
Oh, you could tell.
all the negative people and the negative comments, like that just fires me up. Like if you want me to do bad, you should talk good about me. But
well, I think you need
now I'm gonna look bad because I picked you to win the championship again. So now
yeah,
that's okay.
That's I think that's what really motivates me the most is like the naysayers and stuff. So it's not that I take it personal or negative, like it just fuels the fire for me. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm just here giving my shitty opinion. I think that I just try to create a fun environment for people to say whatever the hell they want to and talk about dirt bikes. As long as we're doing just about those two things, I'm pretty much, I feel I'm a successful businessman. I have to ask, what was your off-season like? You are overall GNCC champion, had a really good year, did great at the ISDE. So how does someone like you who knows, I want to try to repeat, I want to do all this awesome stuff all over again, what does your off-season look like?
It's been good and bad. The weather's been really crappy, so that's been the kind of the downfall. So I didn't get as much riding in around here as I'd like to, but I got to do a lot of cool things out west with Taylor, and
Yeah.
that's what it kind of refreshed some stuff for me, especially getting to go out there and riding with him and doing some endurocross stuff and extreme stuff. It was really fun. I think I kind of tuned in on a lot of untapped skills that I may have. So I'm really excited for some other stuff this year.
Yeah. Were you there when he did the backflip on his big bike?
Yeah, I was there.
How much did your balls like scoot up into your stomach when you watched him do that?
Well, the first 2 times, I was gonna try to do it,
Oh,
but
Jesus.
it was pretty awesome him landing it. But I was trying it on the trials bike a couple of times, and the third time I tried it, like as long as I don't like hurt myself doing something, like I'll keep trying it.
Right.
But the third time I tried it on the trials bike, I came down real awkward, and at the top of my knee braces, there's no guard or anything, and I come down and I slam both my kneecaps really hard and messed my right knee up pretty good. And so I was pretty much over it after that. And he goes out and does the exact same thing I did twice on the big bike, the 300. Then the third time he freaking lands it. So it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic to see, and I was very disappointed that I wasn't there. How's his play area at his house? He's invited us to come out there and ride on that kind of stuff, and I want to. I'd love to head out there and play around on that shit. Did you have a great time doing that, like the King of the Motos and stuff?
Yeah, it was. It's really cool, and the coolest thing about it is his neighbor is a really good on a trials bike. Like he's a really
Is that
bad
Mike
trials
D's
rider.
nuts?
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, he's freaking awesome on a trials bike, man, and trials bicycle. So I went out there right before Christmas for like a week or so before the KTM photo shoot and stuff, and I liked it so much that I ended up going back and then doing the King of Motos. Like I talked to Auntie to let me do that. Bought a trials bicycle and been doing all that stuff. But yeah, he's got an endurocross track right there. And then in Mike's place, he's got a bunch of trial stuff, and it's pretty sweet setup.
So what you're saying is once the babies are a little bit bigger, we should plan a family trip out there and to Taylor's Playland.
Yeah, you should definitely get out there, but definitely want to, like, there's nothing there that's easy, so you need to, like,
I need to
hone
bring
in
my
on
big
some
boy
skills.
pants.
Yeah.
Hey, I could fall down and crash like a mother, okay? I got skills.
You can plan on doing a lot of that.
That's okay. That's fine with me. And who knows? It's like I'm not afraid to outdrink somebody.
Mike, these nuts will probably take you up on trying to do that.
Well, I know him and I had when we were at the Endurocross in Vegas, and that's where I met Mike D's nuts. And him and I had quite the endeavor, if you will, at quite a few different bars, which would really be the same bar, the Gator Bar there, right by the rooms. But it was great. It was a good time. The guy can drink and have a good time. So we had a question from the chat room from Roberto. Are you running a second off-road series this year full time?
No.
No. So anything else though out there to kind of, pique your interest and try other stuff out, or you are solely focused on GNCC?
Yeah, I'm solely focused on GNCCs, but Auntie, I've discussed with Auntie kind of what the plans are for the additional races or whatever, and I'm going to be doing, I've got a 300 two-stroke that I'll race the Tennessee Knockout with, and maybe try to do another couple races on that, but not any on the GNCC side.
Okay.
That's just like an extreme bike.
Yeah.
And 3 enduro crosses. So, and I might also do the 300
Yay! Sorry.
and
I get
that.
excited.
And I'm definitely going to go do the World Enduro Championship in Mexico.
Awesome.
So, and then 6 days. So that's kind of my schedule besides the GNCCs.
Right. That's bitching, dude. I was definitely going to ask about the ISDE, so I'm glad to hear that you're in for that. You know that I am as well racing at the Tennessee Knockout, right?
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Nice.
I registered for the amateur, the amateur day.
Yeah.
It's because
I've never been. I wanted to go this year, but I went to the beach instead. So.
I'm feeling that the beach is probably going to be the smarter move for both of us. Not that I don't think you're going to do
Unless you're
well.
at the beach. if it rains, you'll wish you were at the beach.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's funny. Oh, I can't remember his name, but there was one dude who was like, "Oh, you signed up? I'm signing up too." And he was like, "What row are you on?" I was like, "I'm on row 7 with the amateurs." Okay. And he signed up on my row, and he's like, "You better watch out. I'm using you as traction." I was like, "Okay." I didn't realize I was a competitor for these people. I was like, dude, I'm just going to have fun and try not to get run over. After that, we'll see what happens.
Sweet.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Thoughts on the new Florida location?
On the Florida location,
Yeah, oh, the new, like the Mudmuckers, round 1, GNCC.
get a new one.
Get That's funny. We did. I asked Hoop a little bit about that. Hoop, what do you think about his response?
It's not the first person I heard say that.
Okay. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, it's you know, it's an awesome location, but I just didn't feel like, Barry tries his best and he does a good job. Like most of the time, like I'm really happy with what he lays out, but I just didn't feel like there's anything there that's ever going to be worth riding on. It's always going to be wet. It's never going to be fun, and the grass track doesn't get beat up enough to like separate anybody. So it's pretty easy and pretty basic track besides the mud. And like I said, it was hard on bikes, and I don't think anybody really enjoyed it. So.
Right. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I know that we were chatting about that, and it's so darn close. It's like, would you rather be at River Ranch?
Yeah, I'd definitely rather be at River Ranch because then you're gonna get, it's not gonna be, it's gonna be a fitness race.
Okay.
And it's gonna be way hotter. It's gonna be way rougher, and it's gonna be fast. So the strongest guys are gonna prevail, and that race was more like, not saying that the guys who are up front like aren't strong or whatever, just saying like, I don't know, there's not much to separate people, and the trails weren't that fun. I think a lot of people would agree on me with it, but yeah, it just didn't seem like it had much to offer for a Florida track.
Right. Yeah, I think so many people are used to, sand whoops. That's what they think of when they think of Florida.
Yeah, there was zero sand there.
Yeah, exactly. From what I heard, and Hoop had a really good insight to that as well, is that there were so many more industry people that were able to make it because of the fact that it was so much closer. And we know that had to have been a big part of it. So hopefully there's either a way to make Mudmuckers different, which Hoop's talking about, like maybe they do a big bridge over the water to the other part of the property, or maybe there's a property that's a tad bit further away but not all the way River Ranch. Maybe there's some middle ground. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I mean, definitely the location is good because, the industry people that only go to Supercross and motocross races are, able to come to that. And I met quite a few people that I probably wouldn't normally have the chance to meet and get to talk to. And that was really good. But just the track, just it didn't really float my boat.
Right. All right. Now, quickly, so we don't keep you too long, tell us a little bit about this past weekend for you and the general. Now, you had great comments, and you even kind of keyed into some of those when you were talking about some of the stuff that we said. I wouldn't say negativity, but sometimes people's doubts on what you could do motivates you. It burns fire inside of you to go faster and do better. And it sounds like you were like, let's have a mud race because that's what I need, to be able to catch up on these points. And you completely delivered on that. So just tell us what your thoughts and kind of about this past weekend.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to describe it, but yeah, obviously going in the race, I walked the track on Saturday, and it was looking awesome, but they said 100% chance of rain, so I don't even know why I walked the track because I couldn't even recognize most of it.
Water, check.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't really know. I just know my abilities on the bike and know what I have to do to win, and I feel like I'm really good at knowing when to deliver. And I don't know, the race just played out really good into my favor. I was just kind of smart and consistent all day and just pretty much rode around. I could probably ride around like as much effort as I put out. I probably ride like that effort like a 6-hour race because it was pretty fairly tame.
Right.
It was just kind of picking your way through things. I mean, you just had to be real smart and not get stuck, and that's what I did all day. And the Grant ended up catching me, and I did have to push really hard that last lap, which is actually pretty hard to do if like going the pace I was going and trying to wick it up that late, because you kind of fall into a groove. So, but he was riding really well, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to put that minute on him anyways, because we were already like 3.5 miles in before I made the pass. So
yeah. Yeah, he said that he made a lot of mistakes, kind of like you're saying you avoided. He said on that last lap, he actually started making a lot of those mistakes, kind of getting stuck 2 or 3 times. And
that's another thing that's really hard in a mud race. Like when you wick it up, you have less reaction time to prepare for certain situations. You can be in a rut that you didn't realize was that deep the lap ago because you're going slow and you've seen it coming.
Yep.
When you start going faster in a mud race, it's really hard. It's a lot harder to pick lines, pick and choose your way through areas. But I got real comfortable with the track, and I just made it. I had a really good lap, and I was pretty stoked on that.
Yeah, it was awesome. When there was one point where watching the live webcast, they were kind of like, "Oh, I think I see him." Nope, that's just the Muddy Rider. Like, which brown racer is that? It was funny listening to him trying to pick people out and figure out who was who. And Johnny Gallagher actually probably had it down the best because he could remember who had the different helmets, and he knew even with mud on it the kind of the shape of the helmet. And so that's how he was kind of trying to make educated guesses, and most of the time they came out pretty good.
Yeah, it was definitely. I watched a little bit of the live feed on the Racer TV thing, and it was definitely not very good because I couldn't pick out anybody. So
yeah,
it's kind of just like looking at water the whole time.
Yeah, we did have another question from the chat room. They were asking if you had a dream team for doing the ISDE, which I don't know if you're going to be on the main trophy team this year or not. What would that be? What 6 riders would you think of, or maybe what 5 others, since you'd probably be one of them?
Man, give me the France team.
Oh, Hoop, unfortunately, you probably agree, right?
There. give me Nambitin, Mio,
Albert.
Albert. There's no. It's really tough for us because they're so used to that format, and those guys can go out. They can just put up the markers, and they can go out on a pure flat track and lay down a super fast time, and then when it gets beat, they can do the exact same time. So it doesn't really matter like what surface it is, if it's got ruts or no ruts or bumps or whatever. And it's really hard for us to prepare for that, especially since they race that same format all year. But
yeah,
that's why we're going to try to go. I think Charlie's going to do the World Enduro Championship in Mexico, and definitely Taylor. So we'll see what's going on.
Awesome. Well, cool. All right. Before we let you go, definitely want to ask, coming up, Steel Creek, you've raced there in the past. You've done really well. Are there any thoughts going ahead, or is it just win?
Well, at this point, I had the good ride in Georgia to get myself right back in the mix, so
Absolutely.
That was definitely necessary. But from here on, I'm definitely going to be going after the win in North Carolina because I'm still 8 points back from Charlie. So I need to close that up and keep that really close all year, because if he clicks off a couple wins here down south, it can get kind of out of hand pretty quick. So,
right.
I have a feeling it's probably going to come down to the last race again. Maybe between, a few riders will have a shot, because Josh and Wibbs are riding really well. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough year, so it's going to be interesting, but I'm looking forward to it.
Heck yeah. Well, we appreciate you being on the show. Mr. Hooper, you've been a little bit more quiet than I expected over there. Did you have any questions or thoughts or anything for Mr. Russell?
Yeah, I have a question. The preseason, everybody was thinking you were going to ride a 450, and then you ended up racing the 350 in Florida. What was up with that?
Yeah, I just want to throw everybody off. No.
Suck it!
No, I was actually considering riding the 450, especially at the end of last year. I just wanted something different because I've been on the 350 for 3 years, and I used to have a 450 as a practice bike all the time. And when I jumped back on it, well, before I got the bike, I was like, it shouldn't be that big of a transition. It's like the same weight, just more power. And, the chassis is not a whole lot different. It's a little bit longer on the bottom. But when I hopped on it, like, I couldn't ride it. And I knew straight away. Like, I hopped on it and I felt not comfortable, really awkward. Then I got on the 350 and I was, right at home. And, I rode it and rode it and rode it. And I never did just come to grips with it. I couldn't ride it to my ability. So, I kind of gave it up.
That's a good answer.
Yep.
I don't know. That's all I was thinking.
All right.
Oh, do you know?
Go ahead.
Do you know if you're going to be on the trophy team or the junior team? Has Auntie told you?
Yeah, I'll be on the trophy team. I don't think I can race I turned 24 this year, so I can't race
Nope.
the junior team.
Well, there you go. That answers that.
Bitchin'. Well, cool, dude. I'm going to go race the National Enduro in Blackwell, Texas this coming weekend because, hey, it's in Texas, and I live in Texas. It's like 4 hours away, so for me, that's pretty damn good.
Have fun with that.
Hell yeah, I love that property. It's so much fun. Dude, you could possibly run into wild buffalo out there and like gazelle and all kinds of shit. It's on an exotic game preserve, so it's pretty intense.
Nice.
And I suck at riding, so all the rocks throw me all over the place. And hopefully Hooper catches some really good footage of that.
Oh, so you going out there? You driving the motorhome out there? Hoop, I heard you jackknife that thing already.
Oh!
Yeah, man. Come on, man. Come on.
Oh, bringing it out. Gut punch.
Yeah, I did.
Russell,
Yeah.
you didn't teach him how to drive that thing? You've been moving around in one for a while.
Yeah, I didn't know he was pulling a trailer. Then Chandler told me sometime in Georgia, it's like, Hooper already jackknifed his camper. I was like, he wasn't even pulling a trailer.
I was pulling a trailer. So,
How do you jackknife it without a trailer? Way to go, buddy.
That's why I was questioning Chandler. I was like, he wasn't pulling a trailer. But then I seen you had one hooked up, so.
yeah, it was not good. Not a good situation.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Always a good time.
No.
Well,
Yeah,
Mr. Russell.
that ruined my day. So yeah.
And it's okay. I could not teach Hoop to do any better. So, Mr. Russell, it's going to be your goal in life to teach Hooper how to actually drive a motorhome. Okay?
Just go forward to try not to back up.
That's pretty
That's
much
right.
how I would do it.
I hate backing that thing up.
Dude, it's not easy. That's
No.
for sure. That's for sure.
My
All
mom
right.
six brings all the boys to the yard. All right. Thank you, Kailub. Keep kicking ass. Have fun. And I definitely want to see a good championship chase. So please don't try to just walk away with it, okay?
Oh, well, I'm going to try to do my best to make it boring.
Damn it. Sucks. All right, man. You have fun over there. Enjoy your basketball. And your brother-in-law Wi-Fi needs to be upgraded.
Yeah. Mine's not any better, so.
All right.
It's about
Next time, no shirt. It'll make it better.
noted.
Later. All right, Hoop. We're going to talk about
Yeah.
some fly racing stuff and all their awesome support with us. And we are going to do the Pineful of Awesome Award. And then after that, we're going to have Josh Strang come onto the show. So if anybody wants to tell him, he should be getting ready soon. We've already texted him, but still, it's okay. So fly racing, huge supporter of Seat Time. And we definitely thank them for their support. What they just released on March 4th is their new spring release kinetic mesh gear. They've had kinetic mesh gear for a couple years now, but it's always evolving, always changing. With mesh gear, it's really hard to make it tough, but still breathable in the right places. Sometimes on the outside where you can catch trees, and these limbs can catch it, and because of the fact that it's got these holes, it can pull on it and rip it. Well, they're always evolving and always trying to change it up, which I think is awesome. And I luckily, because our sponsors are so badass, I already have a set of the kinetic mesh gear on the way. So I'm very appreciative for that. Probably won't be running it at the Enduro this weekend since it's supposed to be a high of 60 and raining. But hey, if you would, I congratulate you on being more awesome than I am. But this kind of stuff's great. Multi-panel construction, mesh ventilation panels, tagless printed collar, which I like because it's like, Haynes talks about it. You don't have to have the collar and stuff like that. And it's much better looking. Sublimated graphics, extended tail so that way it stays in tucked a little bit better, comfort stretch collar, integrated mesh tech, panel design, that sounds official, and shorty cuffs with elastic sleeves. That just made me giggle. I don't know why. But so it's kind of interesting. Steven, just to give you a heads up, people are saying stuff about errors. I don't know if that's us or if that's them. But of course, Fly Racing, huge supporter of Seat Time. And with that, I definitely think that you should go to their website, flyracing.com, and check out the new kinetic mesh gear that they have now released. It is on their website, flyracing.com. And what they also do is they also support our Pintful of Awesome award. So in any social format, we go through all the internets, through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We don't really go to Path much, I'll be honest, but there's a couple other places, Google Plus, where you can use hashtag, the £, if you will, thank you Justin Timberlake, and do Pintful of Awesome. I go through all those, and I pick the one that I like the best. I have to say there are a couple awesome honorable mentions. CrossFit 6-shooter. So obviously we've got somebody out there from CrossFit 6-shooter. They're in McKinney, so they may be local. I'm pretty sure I know who they are. We definitely appreciate them. They're using the hashtag when all of their athletes are out there doing awesome things, and they had a really cool submission with all their athletes, getting out there, lifting heavy and doing sweaty stuff, living life healthy, and that's the way they should. So big thanks to them, and of course Mark Cook, which we like to say Mark Koch, but hey, how would you pronounce Koch? Cook or Koch, whatever. That's a good question. Hooper, how would you pronounce that? Koch?
Cock.
See?
Koch.
See? Yeah, I was like, is it Cook? Is it Cock? Is it Kosh? I was like, I don't know, but Cock sounds funnier, so we're going to go with that. There was a picture that he had tagged Pintful of Awesome. Frozen blood. So apparently he caught like a tree limb, and it just totally busted his nose open, and because it was so cold outside, by the time he got done with the race, he just had all the blood was frozen and congealed on his chest. It was awesome. Super
Hey,
fun.
I think I know that guy. Does he? I've seen him somewhere.
Yeah?
He comes to-
He's made it to a couple GNCCs and I believe a couple OMAs, and a couple National Enduros too. So there's a
yeah,
good,
sorry
there's a
to
good
interrupt
chance.
you. I was
No.
like thought I remembered him.
Yeah, he'll be at the National Enduro this weekend too with his daughter. So just in case, if you want me to reintroduce you, we could do that. We could make it happen. So
Dude, I forgot to. Well,
go ahead.
I'll let you go.
Okay. Okay. No worries, man. We're
I'll
just talking
let you
about
go.
Pinefuls of Awesome here. If you got something to say, you bring it.
I was just gonna tell you. Somebody told me that they were like, "Hey, Hooper, like we're from Texas. We know Woody, but don't hold that as against us." at the GNCC, I can't remember who they were. It was like a father and son, and they like drove over and said something to me.
That's hilarious. That could have been them for sure. There's a good
No,
chance.
it wasn't Mark. This was different people. I'd never seen them before, but I just thought I'd tell you.
That sounds about right. That's awesome. Thank you, whoever you are. One, reach out and tell us that you did that, and thank you for doing it. So winner of this week's Pineful of Awesome Award is, I'm going to pronounce it as Alan Petit. And in his Instagram account is at SUAMICO863. I don't know how you pronounce that one. But definitely a little bit of a selfish pick on my part for sure. But I thought it was fantastic because dude supports Seat Time. He bought one of the tanks that we were selling a couple weeks ago to help kind of pay back the credit card on some of the money it costs to build a new studio and get some new equipment. And then he takes that tank, hikes up to the top of a mountain, got his suns out, guns out pose for sure, and takes a picture, tags it Pineful of Awesome, and he is going to be getting a brand new set of the kinetic mesh gear in red, white, and black from Fly Racing. I did talk our supporter from Fly, Dale, into, since they just released the gear, I was like, we should give that away. And he was like, I think that sounds like a good idea. So awesome way to get fantastic swag from Fly Racing. Every week, just do it. Tag your pictures, tag your posts, tag your stories, tag your videos with the hashtag Pintful of Awesome. I'm going to find it, I'm going to enjoy it, and we're going to have good times with it. Definitely thanks to Chuck Taylor. He's been emailing me some funny-ass pictures, and he as well had a cool picture of him in his tank top after an ACL surgery or something like that. So, Hoop, I don't think I've seen any pictures from you tagged.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so you know now that you're in the wrong.
I've been busy, man.
Jeez, all this media and being a media person sucks, huh?
It's being a dad, man. I don't know how you get anything done.
Honestly, when it comes down to it, it's a fantastic wife. That is what it is more than anything else. I get to sometimes focus on things that aren't family oriented because my wife understands and is a fantastic mother, and that's what it takes. So it's very, very thankful for that for sure. And
she's got an F cup.
And she has an F cup right now. Huge boobies. Huge boobies. Everybody likes big breasts. Big breasted, you cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. Okay, Steven, we're just. You're fixing with it? Sounds good. So while apparently there's a lot of Josh Strangs as well. So as we set this up and we go through this, let's talk a little bit more about this kind of stuff, Hooper. I had some other questions that I was going to ask you. What was it? Do you know if Thad Duvall and Lane Michael have the same type of Honda factory support as the JCR team that Chris Bach is on?
I don't know it for certain, but I'm pretty sure they don't.
But they don't.
I mean,
you think they don't. Okay.
I don't think they do, because the Morgantown Power Sports is such a big part of Thad and Lane's program. I think their deal's a little bit more of a dealer. Like, I know they're not paying for their stuff. Like, they're getting bikes and parts and stuff like that.
Right.
But I don't, Bach was out in California testing with the JCR guys and Honda and stuff like that. So I think his level of support is definitely a notch above what they're getting.
Okay. Cool. Well, no, it's good to know that kind of stuff. This will be fun to ask Mr. Strang as well. Do you think that we're going to see an AmPro podium sweep within the year? Because we have come damn close.
I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. We were talking about that the other day. When was the last time there was two Yamahas?
Yeah, just two in itself.
On the overall podium, right? So
if we get three, that could be insane.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly possible. We saw two guys on the XC1 the last two races. So, hey, as crazy as shit's been this year.
Why not?
So, yeah, why not? Right.
And then Becca Sheets did really well too in the WXC class. Was she second?
Yeah.
This past weekend.
Yeah, she was second. Yeah. So
that's cool. And Jordan Bailey, who was on 2 weeks ago, even called her out. She was like, "Becca Sheets is gonna do really good. She's gonna be on the podium a lot this year." I was like, "Okay, cool. Let's go for it." So hey, I don't know. I just work here. What do you think, Trevor Bollinger and Ryan Sipes? Opinions?
What do I think?
Yeah. Anything? They're doing really so. Trevor Bollinger is doing really good this year. He was a good amateur last year. Now he's in the XC2 class. He did really good at the general. Had a decent Florida. Guys like Shane Hufford are doing really good. So what do you think about their performances right now?
Oh, I think Trevor's done really well, and I think he'll just continue to get better as the year goes on. He's from Morganton, North Carolina, pretty much. So
okay.
Like Steel Creek is pretty much a home race for him. So I know he'll do really well do really well there. And as the season goes on, I mean, he kind of did the same thing last year. I don't think he even rode the first couple of races. And he just showed up and won, and then they're like, well, all right, let's just keep going. So yeah, I mean, he's just a kid, so he's got a lot of potential. Sipes, I mean, it's about what I expected.
Okay.
Out of Ryan. I mean, he was super fast in Florida early for the first 2 hours, and it was. I'll definitely give him credit for that one, because it was not the Florida that you're used to. Mm-hmm. Florida sand whips, motocross guys come down and just can whack guys. You know what I mean? Like they can just go so much faster. And this was not that race, as we already talked about. So it's a little bit more technical, muddy, stuff like that. But second hour, he just, he said he cramped up and all that. So he definitely struggled in the mud this past weekend. I mean, he was pretty far off the pace. And I don't know if he had any specific issues or anything like that, but he's about where I expected him to be. He's going to get better as the year goes on. I mean, that third hour is gnarly.
Yeah. Yeah.
The motocross community as a whole doesn't give these GNCC guys enough respect for how fast they are.
Right.
So, I mean, the speeds they run are fast. So it's not like Sipes can go out and ride 60, 70% and still be
in the top,
as fast
right?
As he needs to. So, the amount of effort that he's going to have to put out in conditions that he's not used to riding in is pretty high. So, I think he'll sneak on the podium once before the year's out. A place like Ironman or Unadilla or something like that. These tracks that are faster, if the weather's right, where mud and stuff's not going to come to play, I think he could be a podium threat. So that's about what I expected out of him. I think some of the Rockstar guys were down there at the Florida race. They came over from the Supercross and they had some bets going and stuff with like Davey from Racer X that he was going to win the race. Then when he got into second place, I saw those guys, they were freaking out. Like it was 2 laps in and he
Right.
was in second. They're like, they thought the race was over. Like, oh, he's in second now. He's going to win. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, we got a lot more laps to go.
Yeah, 2 hours left. That's like a whole lot can happen. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll be good. You know, I mean, it's great for the sport, get people to pay attention, and
Yeah, we've seen. This is a good question for you. I've asked a lot of people at the end of last year, and as we've talked about GNCC racing coming into the beginning of this year, is there more money in the sport? Because right now it looks like there are more teams, more support, more people paying attention. But at the same time, we hear a lot of the same excuses. We don't actually hear people being like, "Oh man, great, this is awesome. People are putting up more money. People are supporting me more. All this kinds of stuff." It's just so. I want to say that things look like they're getting way better, but nobody seems to be acting like they are.
well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know all the numbers, right? But
Mhm.
let's think about it. So Honda's back with a pretty decent presence. They've got, whatever support they're giving to Thad. They've also got this JCR team, so that's definitely better for GNCC. Yamaha added Strang, so I know he's making more money than he made last year. Um, not there aren't I can't really think of any guys that like lost a ride that were top guys. So I'd say there has to be more money in it.
Yeah.
Shane Watts, I don't know how much of it's his money that he's putting into it, but I guarantee you Rory Mead and Jesse Grom are making more money this year than they made last year.
Right.
So yeah, I'd say with the KR4 team, and again, I don't know where the money's coming from. This could be personal money that these people are putting in, but for the riders, it doesn't really matter as long as they're getting paid. So yeah, I'd say there has to be more money in it right now than there has been.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I don't know if it's substantial. It's not 2003 money.
right.
So yeah, guys aren't making 400 or 500 grand after bonuses or some crazy number like that. But yeah, I think there has to be more money. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. No, I'm glad to get your opinion, and I'm glad that you at least think that because we've talked to people about it, and it's almost seemed like a wash. We haven't gotten a straight answer from people that are involved with teams too. You know what I mean? Even talking to Shane Watts. What I think is Shane Watts does well, and I don't know if it's good for the sponsors or not. But man, they litter those bikes with sponsors, don't they? I mean, it's So, do you think that that's effective advertising for sponsors? People putting in money into these programs, like that form
the stuff on bikes,
like that. Well, what Shane Watts is doing? You look at a Shane Watts, his chest protector completely covered in stickers. The same thing with the bikes; they're littered with these bikes. Is that good? Is that good for the sponsors?
if it was my brand personally, I wouldn't want it.
Right.
But that's just me, and I think there's specific brands that would not be into that sort of thing. But I don't know, maybe there's like smaller companies that are just dying for some sort of place in the market. Maybe that's cool with them. But I think what Shane's doing right is, his web series, even though it's not professionally produced, at least it's an inside look at like what they've got going on. Dirt wise, 6 inches tall down the sleeves of the riders' jerseys.
Yeah.
I could, I think everybody knows who they're riding for. So yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes less is more. Maybe a little bit more subtle is my personal preference. So.
Yeah, and I understand that because I come kind of from the same creative opinion in the sense that I like, I like a little bit more clean lines and stuff like that. Now, obviously, it's working for Shane Watts. I'm not trying to diss what he's doing because obviously he's put together a fantastic program. I've taken his Dirtwise riding schools. They're fantastic. I learned a ton. It's just that I know, I kind of am in your boat. I would want it to look a little bit different, but hey, obviously it's working and they're doing great now that they have 3 riders and they've got, all the other little programs coming on, where, kind of like ride like a factory rider. You can come in and rent a bike, kind of like you could with a KR4. So, speaking of those guys, is obviously we're having whatever kind of issues getting Josh Strang on. We are actually going to be coming to Big Buck. And we're going to be, so Steven's going to do the UTV racing on Saturday with KR4, and I'm going to do the morning Sportsman A class mainly because I don't want to ride Sportsman B because I'm an A ride in Texas. Whatever, I'm going to do it. And I don't want to race 3 hours. I want to race 2 hours. So I'm going to race the Sportsman A class for Big Buck. What do you think? Am I going to what should I expect?
From just the Big Buck in general.
Yeah, from Big Buck.
It's a sick track. That place is fun, man.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's good woods. It's got some of the clear cut stuff that's a little bit faster. Yeah, you'll have a blast. That place is awesome.
Woohoo! These sound fun. Maybe is there any way you can get into the Sportsman A class with me?
Me?
Yeah,
It's possible.
A little bit of media elbow rubbing.
Possible. Yeah. How about we just see if they'll give us a special row on the back or something like that? Sportsman A. Those guys are fast.
Well, I mean, we got to lose somehow.
And then there's a chance we might start in front of the women, and then we'll have to get chicked all day long.
That's okay, man. I mean, if I come back from South Carolina and I'm like, dude, I got chicked all Sunday morning. I mean, that sounds cool, right? It's to people who don't know any better, it sounds like I had a really good time. Have you heard anything about Kailub Russell's forearms? I wanted to ask him about that, but we didn't hear anything. I didn't get a chance to, and I wanted to know if you thought that how his surgery has gone, how he's recovered from it, and how he's doing now. Looks like they're fine.
Yeah, I mean, they look good. I mean, I've seen, that sounds awful, but
I know I was about to say, I was like, yes, they do.
I mean, his arms his arms look fine. He's got, I don't know. This is the awkward conversation to have. He has big arm muscles. I don't really know.
If you will.
Yeah, I mean, his scars are pretty gnarly. I mean, but seems to be working, so. Boom! I just invited Strang and he joined in, so.
How did you do that? And we've got producers over here that can't do it.
I don't know. Maybe you need to find a new producer.
Hey man, it's cool. We all like to have a good time. That's true. I just pay him to push buttons. I don't pay him to know anything.
You actually pay?
We do. We pay.
Shit.
We as I said, I do not make any money. That is not my point here, and I make sure that once we got to a point that we were making that there was income that it was like, hey, that's money that's here consistently. I knew that to make the show better, I needed to have somebody that could produce the show for me, and Steven is willing to accept X amount of dollars, which is pretty much gas money, unfortunately. It's not a ton, believe me, but it's something, and it pays for his gas every week for him to get here and then get home, so, and the time, of course. So, I would pay you if I had more. I don't, though. Maybe I can give you like a virtual high five somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, did you find that picture?
Yeah, I think I just tried to message it, but you can talk to Josh now since he's on.
Did he come?
It's way past his bedtime.
Josh, are you here?
Oh, we got no sound.
Josh, where's your sound, bro? Man, you suck at this. That's probably why Steven couldn't get him on. He was pushing the wrong button. Hey, Hoop, I thought he used to live with you. Just go into his rent room and turn it on for him.
If he still did, we would have sorted this out. But
Man, does he know sign language?
yeah.
Well, this is fun. I don't know if you guys caught that, but we just got flipped off by Josh Strang.
Yeah, they did. I'm still pushing buttons.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, up until we hear Strings, if there's anything I can tell you, check maybe the preferences and see where the mic's getting picked up, and then also make sure that. Now I'm getting messages. Yes. Make sure the mic in the preferences is being picked up from the correct place. So what else is going on, Hoop, while we chat about the fact that Josh Strang is there, looking dashing, by the way, and up past his bedtime. But what other kind of
What
stuff?
else is going on?
Yeah, so you are gonna be at the National this weekend?
I'm not going to be at the National this weekend.
What the-
I've been trying to not tell you that because I know it's going to hurt your feelings.
It is gonna hurt my feelings. Who's gonna catch the hair swoop, Hoop?
Daniel Angle.
Oh, is he going to be there?
I'm pretty sure someone from those people is going to be there. So
If you will. Awesome. Well, that's cool. Somebody's going to have to catch the hair swoop for sure.
someone will.
Someone will.
Don't worry.
For sure. You know what I'm going to be riding?
I don't know what you're going to be riding. Let me guess.
Guess.
Sherco.
Nope. I did ride a Sherco at a national though last year. Different brand.
Well, like a off-brand like that?
No. Maybe a new.
Hey.
Was that an Australian?
Fancy.
All right. Now, before we get started, Josh, you have to tell us what the problem was so that future people can know what not to do.
I had to click on the settings and change my microphone thingy.
Microphone thingy. So when you guys can't figure this out, go to your settings, microphone thingy,
Yeah.
and figure it out, right? All right. So we were going to be here way longer than we wanted to, but hey, you know what? That's okay. That's what we do here on the couch. So I'm on the couch. We've got Josh Strang. We've got Mr. Hooper. Hooper, I'm going to be riding the 2014 FE 350.
Oh, really?
Hell yeah, I am. You guys in the chat room can suck on that because it's going to be bitching. I'll tell you more about it when we get rid of Strang. We've got him here. He's awesome. He's getting ready to go to sleep. So, watching and following you, Mr. Strang, on Instagram and Facebook and all the fun social stuff, and then even chatting with you every now and again through text, you had a very fun off-season. You got to go to Australia. It looked like you were hanging out in California for a while, doing some testing, different bikes, and then, of course, making it back to the East Coast. So besides the fact that I stalked you a lot, tell everybody else out there who's not as weird as I am, what was your off-season like? What kind of fun stuff did you do?
I went back home. I hadn't been home to Australia for 2 years, so I was ready to get home. And after I got back, I went to Japan the weekend after the last GNCC, so that was cool. I got back from there, then went to California, then flew to Australia. So went up to Cairns to the Great Barrier Reef, which is probably about, I think it's like a 20-hour drive from my parents' place.
Yeah.
I didn't drive. I flew there, so I got to go snorkeling and scuba diving and that sort of stuff there, and then just went home and hung out for a month and did not much. So
What was it? You said you ate a lot of Marlow? What'd you call it?
Huh?
Isn't it like some kind of chocolate sauce or something like our Nutella?
Oh, Nutella. There's Vegemite. That's not chocolate.
No. I don't know. You said something. You ate a lot of something.
Meat pies?
I don't know. I'm intelligent, apparently. I have the memory of a gnat, which is obviously the case. All right. You told me you had gained a little bit of weight eating X, and I don't remember what that was. So, how much?
Oh, no, that was just a joke. I
Oh.
was just pulling your leg.
Man, I gotta start learning this sarcasm thing people keep telling me about. Shit sucks. Milo, M-I-L-O. Somebody in the chat.
Milo. Yeah, that's it. Milo.
Say it. How do you pronounce it?
Milo.
Milo. Like, do I just roll the letters all together? Milo. Does that?
Yeah.
That sound like it?
Yeah, Milo.
Okay, now we know. But what the hell is it? I don't even know what it
It's
is.
just like a Nesquik or something, pretty much.
It's like it's a drink.
Yeah, you just mix it up. Usually like 3/4 of a cup Milo, quarter a cup milk.
Can it ever be used for anything erotic?
No. Put it on ice cream, it's the best.
That sounds pretty erotic. I'm not gonna lie. There are some people out there in the world that would get off on that. All right, so back to dirt bikes. You had a pretty awesome erotic Australian off season. What else did you do? Did you hang out with Toby Price?
Yeah,
at all?
that was about it. Did a bit of riding there, and then came back to California and got a Yamaha from Yamaha out there, and just rode for a month, and then made it back east to freezing cold weather.
Breezy, yeah, you did come back to. I remember we were chatting about that. So tell us about the new bike and kind of new team. We know that you're still, your main backer this year is the Rocky Mountain ATV MC guys, which is awesome that they're back for their second year. But you're on a Yamaha with the Infab and Pro guys. So I would imagine you tested a bunch of different bikes. Tell us about that process and what it took for you to, make the choice that you wound up making.
Well, the end of last year, I still wasn't real sure what was going to happen. I'd spoken to Randy Yamaha like in July of last year, and we were talking about getting something together, and that kind of fell through towards the end of the year. So I'd kind of planned I was going to be buying bikes again by myself. So, but then last minute he came and had a program put together for me. So with Rocky Mountain support again for 2014, he came up with a program, bikes and parts, to help me out, and it's already been a lot better than 2013. So
Absolutely, you have had some fantastic results on the podium twice, consistent hole shots so far, 2 in a row. What the hell did Paul Whibley teach you with you been riding with those Ampro guys about getting hole shots? Because you listened.
I don't know. I think he's probably mad at me.
Especially after you filled his face in full of mud in the first turn this past weekend. I'm sure he's not real bummed.
No, I don't know. The bike start's good. I was a little worried about I raced my practice bike in Florida because we thought it was going to be really bad. We probably should have raced the race bike in Florida and the practice bike on the weekend just gone. But I raced a brand new bike on the weekend, so it's definitely broken now. But yeah, the things start really good. I think it's just all about technique. All the bikes start pretty good nowadays, but the Yamahas seem to be starting pretty good. I mean, Webb's went on that streak last year or the year before, and he always gets good starts. So to get the first 2 hole shots has been good. I'd rather get a last place start like Kailub and finish first, but
yeah, that's definitely saying something when that shit happens.
I guess I'll take a hole shot anyway.
Yeah, and especially I have to ask, what does it feel like to hold up a check that says you're the all balls hole shot winner? I mean, I haven't had Whibley on, so I haven't been able to ask him about that. But does any kind of connotation go through your mind?
I don't know. Honestly, I haven't even thought about it.
So what I'm saying is next time you do get one, you're going to be up there with the biggest grin because you're going to be thinking about your balls.
Yeah, maybe we can do some like, what's a vulgar photo or something.
Do you still have the checks? Because if you still have the checks,
no, they take them back.
Those jerks.
Reusable checks.
They don't have the budget like I do for the digital. So back on whole shot and actually give the checks away.
Oh. So what you're
I
saying?
pay half the money, but
is that digital off-road has better checks than the balls guys?
Yeah.
I really wish there was a better way to correlate that sexually, but unfortunately, digital off-road just doesn't tie into anything.
No, it's no sexual connotation. Sorry.
We'll work on it. I could figure out something. This is what I do for a living. All right, so Mr. Josh Strang, how much do you think? Now we've seen Randy Hawkins teach a lot of people a lot of stuff throughout the years. I want to know what kind of stuff has he taught you, or do you feel like your program is more help from AmPro all around? But what has Randy Hawkins done for you, if anything? Obviously, besides giving you a program, we know you're happy about that.
For right now, I mean the program he's given me is more than what I expected. So, pretty much what he's given me is the support that I need to go to start winning again. So, I think that's the most important thing. But he did show me his gun room, and I was pretty pumped about that. So. Maybe he can take me out shooting or something. He said he is gonna, so I mean that's important to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. They're like 40 minutes from Big Buck, aren't they? Like they're
not very far.
I think if we come in, we're gonna try to fly in whatever's the cheapest, and right now it looks like it's a super ass early Friday morning flight. So if we get in early enough, we're gonna try to take the rental car to the farm, unless they're already on the way. It just depends on when you guys head over to the GNCC site. But maybe I could see this guns with you and be intimidated by all of his bullets.
Yeah, it's a cool shop there. They've got a couple of stock. I guess you call them stock cars in there as well as the bike. They got the bikes at the back of the shop, and then up front they have I think 2 or 3 stock cars that Randy runs like little teams and that. So it's actually a pretty cool deal if you get to go check it out.
Yeah, we would love to do that for sure. Now, I have to ask you about excuse me, about your dry brake situation and the oversized gas tank on the new 450. Is it not like the biggest kick in the dick? That thing is like right there, all up in your business.
No, it's not. If you look at it, I mean, anyone who sits that far up on the tank, they're obviously not a very good rider. They're sitting way too far forward, and it's flat. Like there's no the tank doesn't make the bike any wider, and the quick feel sits flat with the seat and the airbox. So I've never felt it. So there's the corners of the tank that stick out that sometimes I can feel on my leg, but not like no, I don't notice it at all.
Okay,
So-
well, I would like a picture of it, like just clean up close. This is the dry brake on my tank on the overflow for the 450, because I just want to see up close and personal how it works. I haven't really seen a good picture of it. That would make me happy. So sometime after you wake up, because obviously we're keeping you up way too late this evening, which we apologize about. But hey, what was it? What did it feel like when Grant Baylor came by and passed everybody at the General?
I didn't even see him.
Yeah, he was the muddy guy that went past you.
But, no, he was. That race was so like it was. I enjoyed racing in those conditions, even though I'm happy I'm not paying for bikes this year. But
Yeah.
but it was good. Like that class, they catch up to us guys, and they're already leading the overall. You know, so I mean, he rode good. He probably maybe got stuck less than all of us. I know I got stuck about 5 times. I think the most I've ever been stuck in the 7 years I've been racing GNCC or something. So, but no, I guess he rode good.
Yeah, it looked like he rode good. I mean, he was, 4 seconds from the overall behind Kailub Russell. So, I mean, that's pretty intense.
It was also only 2 hours though, so I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of conditions, because Kailub said it really good. You know, he said that he didn't really push it. The only time he really, really pushed himself was when he knew he had to catch Baylor, because he wanted to make those overall points. And after that, he said, I made super smart decisions and rode almost kind of conservatively. And probably guys like, you and Baylor probably made a lot of those same decisions. Do you think that when you got stuck that you were rushing it too much, or was it just, I mean, anybody could have made those mistakes?
I don't know. That was someone. I was talking to someone earlier today. Actually, I don't even know who it was. That track was. I've never had a mud race there in Georgia, and that place seemed to get more mud holes than like any mud race I've ever done. Like the John Penton or something you go to, there'll be mud holes at certain sections of the track, so you get ready for them. But this track on the weekend, you'd come around a corner where you'd think there'd be like out in the grass fields, you don't think, like, there'd never bottomless holes out there, and you end up riding into a rut and it's as deep as your handlebars. So I mean, it was a different mud race, a wet race there on the weekend. There was more mud holes than normal, that's for sure.
Yeah. Did you have any eye problems? I know, like, Johnny Gallagher was talking about one time in a mud race, he actually scratched his corneas just because of riding without goggles. And I know that there was a lot of times you guys would pit and try to get new goggles, but I don't really know how long you guys were actually being able to keep them on.
We dirt bike guys are pretty tough.
What's that? Oh yeah, I mean, I bet, especially you Australian dirt bike guys.
I had my eyes were pretty red. Sunday probably looked like I'd smoked a couple of bongs or something.
Well, it's not legal in North or South Carolina.
That's what everyone told me. So, but yeah, they were pretty red and sore driving home in the rain at night. They got pretty bad, but they're good now. So
wicked. All right, so I jumped the gun a little and started talking about the General a little bit before the Florida stuff, but that's okay. What did you think about the Florida venue, about Mudmucker? Obviously, a lot closer to Daytona, but what are your thoughts?
I thought it was good. The track ended up being pretty fun. It was a little wet, but I mean, I don't know. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good place for a GNCC, and the wood sections was, one side was pine forest and the other side was like a I don't know, just a tree section. And I mean, apart from being a little bit wet, I reckon it was a good place to have a race. So I know there was a lot of people complaining about it and bitching about it, but I reckon it was probably better than, definitely not as far out of the way as River Ranch. Wasn't as sandy as a typical Florida race, but I reckon it was a pretty good place to hold a race.
Yeah. How pumped were you on your third place and your performance? You know, new bike, new team, all that kind of coming into the new 2014 season.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with third. I mean, I finished third at the first round last year as well. I think I was about 4 minutes behind Charlie and Kailub last year, so we're a little bit ahead of the game this year.
Right.
Charlie always races good in Florida, and I think he goes down to Florida with the confidence that he's gonna win. So, I mean, he was gonna be tough to beat there either way. But yeah, I felt pretty good about it and pretty happy. So, some things that I had to work on, but I think we're pretty good.
What kind of stuff have you done with that new Yamaha to make it more off-road ready, or maybe that you and Ampro do to make that bike a little bit more off-road ready? Because it seems like the YZ450 is definitely, it's a motocross machine, with a lot of changes coming to it for this year, for 2014. So what kind of specifics are y'all changing?
Well, we put a big tank on it,
Right.
and revalved the suspension.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. So you don't do you do much motor work to your
No,
bikes?
no. I've never done any motor work to any of my bikes. Suzuki, last year's bikes, KTM's, or like this year, even with the Yamaha, I've never touched them. I know a lot of teams do. I'm not really sure why. The bikes, the Yamahas are reliable. The weekend proved that. I mean, that race was tough on them. And yeah, so suspension and the big tank, and you can go race one. We have a FMF exhaust on and that sort of stuff, but that's I mean, as far as if someone wanted to go race at GNCC, they could take that thing out of the crate and put a big tank on it and go race it, really.
Right. Well, that's cool. That's good to know. Because it's always sounded like a lot of the Jap bikes, quote unquote. They're not as ready to race as KTM's and stuff like that. But obviously, what? Say it.
Compare what they do to a KTM to what they do to any other brand.
What is it? Yeah, tell me.
Clutch, triple clamps, forks, shock, motor, tank.
So the ready to race isn't as ready to race?
I don't know. I think the factory KTM have a big budget and they put a lot of effort into it. I feel that majority of the bikes nowadays come out of the crate good to race in any condition, any discipline, like whether it's off-road, motocross, or whatever you want to do. So I mean, I grew up racing a standard bike. I think that's all I've ever ridden, really. So I mean, sometimes I feel that the more things you change on a dirt bike, the more problems you have with reliability and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. The Yamaha's a damn good bike. I'm really impressed with it, actually.
Yeah, I rode Yamahas for a really long time before KTM's. It mainly, I always rode them. That's what I knew to ride. But talking to my dad about it, he was like, it's because of the fact that they're so reliable. They made, at the time they were WRs for us, and we did some of the mods and stuff like that. But in the long run, it was just because of the fact that you could ride it in the mud, go sit it in the garage for 3 or 4 months without washing it, go start it up and go ride, and it would do everything you needed it to do. Somehow they make those bikes extremely reliable, and that's awesome. They don't push it too much. ISDE this year. So obviously we know you want to come in and do GNCC, do really well there. You've done the ISDE quite a few times in the past couple years. I didn't know if you had plans again to go for Australia, and if you would wind up using a different bike like you did last year, or if you think right now you're going to wind up on the Yamaha.
No, I would like to do the ISDE again. I think it's Argentina, and it's at the end of the year now, so I think it's maybe the week after Ironman. So
It's like the
that's
first weekend in November, right? Or first week, something like that. It's like
yeah. So that's the
way
plan
later.
to go down there, and I'll be on Yamaha this time. So and I think the bike will come from Yamaha Australia. So that's from what I understand as of right now. So that's
Right.
good. And I also plan to go back to Australia to do the 4-day in August.
Oh, cool.
It'll be a cool little warm up for the 6 day. So that's what I'm planning to do at the moment.
Yeah. We were talking to Kailub before, we spent a lot of time trying to get you on just because of or being awesome. He was mentioning that it's interesting that the France team and a lot of other European countries and stuff, they do so well because they race the WEC format so much. But you seem to do really, really well at 6 days and other events that you go to with that style racing. But you don't race that all the time. You race GNCC and other, hare scramble type, cross-country racing formats. What do you think? Do you think there's anything to racing that format to be better at it, or for you is it just, you're just good at it?
I don't know. Like the Australian series before I came over here was a sprint format, so I did a year and a half before I came over here just doing sprints, which is pretty much what the ISDE is. So, I mean, I kind of have an idea of what to do, and I've done 2 6 days before Germany and Italy last year. So,
Right.
I don't know. I enjoy doing those things. They're fun, and I think if you're having fun racing, that's when you ride good. So, I don't know. I enjoy it, and it's quite a bit different. I don't know. I think you got to be smooth, and I feel like I'm a pretty smooth rider overall. So, I don't know if that helps or not.
Well, you're smooth with the ladies, so nothing else. You just start talking, and they're like, "Hey." So maybe you just have some of that confidence floating around, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm Australian. Suck it." Ah. Your teammate last year, Daniel Milner, did extremely well at the ISDE. What do you think? I mean, obviously you guys are going to be teammates for the trophy, but for the trophy team. But maybe what do you think it's going to take to come into Argentina and do as good as he did last year?
I don't know. I set goals every year, and every year I put down I want to be the top Australian. And the last 2 years I've been second. The first Germany I was second to Phillips, and last year to Milner, I think.
Yep.
And yeah, it makes me a little mad, but it's cool because, like you said, it's a team event. It's not individual. So I mean, if Milner won, or anyone from Australia won, whether it be Toby or Phillips, and I got second or third or whatever, I mean, I'd be still happy about that. So
the after party would still be just as good.
yeah, or just as bad. Depends how you want to look at it.
I don't want to talk about how I woke up. Multiple times that I woke up in different places. Oh my god. Yes, if anybody ever gets a chance to go to the ISDE, put it on your schedule to attend the after party, especially in Europe, because those dudes throw down. It was ridiculous. Every time I was like, dude, hanging out with Matty Phillips most of the night, and a lot of Australians and Hoop whenever he came by for 30 minutes. But I was like, yeah.
Some of us had to work.
Hey,
Some of us had to work.
I don't want to talk about you getting jobs from Red Bull, okay? Whatever. It's like, Matty Phillips, I want a beer. Okay, he comes back, he's got like 2 Crown and vodkas, and I'm like, Jesus, oh my God. So I'm not only am I like dehydrated, but I'm like cracked out on Red Bull with all this vodka. I danced, I came home with somebody else's shirt. I don't know what happened to my shirt, and I'm still not going to talk about how I woke up because it was...
You traded it out, man. I remember that.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hey. I'm glad somebody remembers because it's always good to archive this kind of stuff. But yeah, so other people do crazy stuff. So definitely plan on attending the after party. So obviously you're planning on being at Argentina this year. Hoop, are you going to be trying to make it to film all of these fine young gentlemen racing their dirt bikes?
That's the plan, man. It's the plan to be there. So, as long as I can figure out the finances, yeah, I'll be there again. I enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's a lot of fun. So, Hoop, you're also the kind of the media provider for Josh Strang. You put out a lot of his race reports and stuff with Hooper Media. So I know that you know a lot about him. But in the sense of the show, do you have any questions, things that you might want, verification on, or just cool information about the Stranger for the show?
Oh man.
There's plenty of questions Hoop could ask.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And
We'll talk
remember,
about this.
this
Just
show
tell people-
this is technically X-rated.
Are we late enough now? We can talk about whatever. No. No. Well, Brian was asking me earlier about the triathlons and stuff, and I mentioned that you and I did that half Ironman together back in August. But now I've seen some big name NASCAR driver mention you on Instagram, so you can tell him about your little cycling deal or whatever you got going on with Jimmy Johnson.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, I mean, last year I got to go riding with Jimmy Johnson and a bunch of other people actually, and I met his pilot, his private jet pilot. So
That sounds funny.
which is pretty cool, and I got to know him pretty well, and I ended up going riding with him a bunch last year, and towards the end of the year he contacted me and he's like, "Oh, do you want to be on Jimmy Johnson and his foundation, the Jimmy Johnson Foundation?" And then it's like a training computer cycling class. It's called Total Cyclist in Charlotte here. They're starting like just a fun little cycling team thing. They're like, "Do you want to be on?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I be?" I mean, have like Jimmy's name on my cycling gear and that sort of stuff. It's like pretty cool, even if I had to pay for the gear. So I ended up doing that, and I ended up getting a bunch of free cycling gear and like bicycle helmet and this like free classes at this Total Cyclist place, and I get to go riding with all these guys. So it's pretty mad. I got to go riding with Jimmy last week, some mountain biking, and he's actually surprisingly pretty good on a mountain bike. And even though he did go down one time, and he got up shaking his hand, and I was like, man, hopefully he didn't bust that thing. Otherwise, he'll probably end up having to shoot me and the guy that took him riding.
It's not my hand that's hurt. I can hold on to the steering wheel.
Yeah, but no, so that's pretty cool deal. I mean, I don't want to. Every time I've met him a couple of times now, and every time I don't want to be like that guy that's so pumped to like taking selfies with him and that sort of stuff. So I got to try and keep try and be cool and just be normal around him, because he's way different to what I thought he would be. He's a lot more normal than I thought.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty cool to be able to do stuff like that, or have the opportunity to do things like that.
You're saying that when I'm all like, excited and taking selfies with you, that I'm that guy?
That guy with the mustache.
Damn it.
I just can't grow a mustache. So
It's because all that mallow that you eat.
Mallow.
Or drink, whatever. I don't know. Mallow.
Mallow.
Well, that's cool, man. That would be fun. So you're going to have Jimmy Johnson on your cycling gear, and you're going to have All Balls Racing on your checks.
yeah.
I think you're really starting to pull it together there. You gotta watch out for the scene of the X-rated friends you're gonna be making soon. It's gonna be interesting. Damn it! I'm just off my game tonight. I really don't have anything good. It sucks. Damn it! All right. Well, Mr. Josh Strang, we appreciate you staying up a little bit late. Definitely, fixing some technical difficulties with us as we try to make the internet better. What other, any last words of wisdom for all the fans and cool people out there?
I don't know. I guess make it to a GNCC if you can, and I don't know. Just go racing or something. Go have fun, drink a beer or something.
Yes.
Actually, When did we talk last? It's been a while, hasn't it?
On the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it has been a while,
I
unfortunately.
think I'm still in California.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm in North Carolina now, so.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you still in the same house you were in last year, like with Corey?
yeah, just
and
just
Martinez?
renting a place. Well, they didn't come back.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Travis.
yeah. She's getting to fly this year because she's
Yeah,
the
she's
factory
cool.
Yeah, she's getting paid.
factory deal.
So,
Factory
but
super-
no, it's been good. Like last year was fun. Like the racing was up and down last year, but last year I had a good time. Like good summer. Went like Hoop said, did some triathlons and that sort of stuff, and then went to a bunch of concerts and that, and just had a good time, man. And I really enjoy it back here on the East Coast a lot more than I did in California.
I bet it seems like it's a little bit more low key. I would think. I don't live there, but it would seem like on the West Coast there's a good chance of like all the city life, like craziness, but on the East Coast with more woods and just the ability to walk outside and hunt.
I got to wear flat bills and have my pants like hanging around my ass and that, so I wasn't doing that.
Well, our good friend Tiffany Vardell would love it if your ass was hanging out, but
I thought she liked the price.
hey, she's all about the accent, man.
Yeah.
So
Oh, Strang, tell him about your Instagram. The
Ooh.
chick. You can humble brag about it. The screenshot
What's
you
that?
sent me.
No, that's
I'll tell him. I'll tell him.
yes, bring it.
So on the weekend, he was all pumped. He's like, dude, this chick was just totally checking me out, and I'm pretty sure she caught me looking back at her, and I think she was with a guy, but I'm pretty sure it was her brother. So we're driving home, and I get a screenshot from him from Instagram or Twitter, and it's this chick. She's like, I called Josh Strang my boyfriend to my boyfriend. Hashtag man candy.
Dude, you got hashtagged man candy?
Yeah, what the fuck, man? Like
That's like a check in life, man. Take that out of the bucket list. Done. I am now man candy.
Hashtag can't help it. Hashtag Josh Strang. Hashtag number 4.
Oh my god. I don't know. It could be hashtag 4 for all we know, right? The world we live in today. It's such a good time. Definitely, we had a guy in the chat room, Malakote. He said that he got to meet you last year at Ironman, and that you're a super cool, down-to-earth guy. Glad to see all the GNCC guys are humble. So
He's confusing him with somebody else for
Yeah.
sure.
I was gonna say,
He talked to somebody else with an accent at the race.
yeah, he's pretty out there. Hey, with the Enduro Cross coming to the East Coast, are you gonna head to Atlanta and do that event?
I don't think so. I don't even know when it is. I might go watch. I mean,
You had to go at Endurocross once, didn't you?
yeah, I didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
I don't think it like me actually. Or something. I didn't get enough practice.
You just stood there and yelled at the rocks and they moved? Is that they were afraid of you?
I should have just sat in the stands and drank some beer.
That's what I did. Well, I was saying we went to Vegas Endurocross, and we had just the day before we had ridden in Utah with the Fast guys, the Fast Company guys, and holy shit, man, we went out there, and I was beat up. I had a stupid crash on Saturday riding with those guys. So going to Vegas, I get 3/4 of a lap in practice 1 on the Endurocross track in Vegas. I get half a lap in practice 2, and I don't even finish practice 2. I quit in the middle of the matrix, ride my bike, I go put it at the pits, I walk back to the bar, and I got a Crown and Coke, and it was like the next practice that was after us wasn't even over yet. So people are like, how did you get back to the car so quickly, to the bar, get a drink, and then back to the venue? And I was like, this is how a quitter quits, right here. Like, bam! I was like, my Vegas is on, motherfuckers. I was like, I'm not making the night show, that's for sure. So
Yeah, that's somewhere along the lines of how my Endurocross debut went as well. No drinks involved, just practice. That's about it.
well, hopefully you figure out what to do, and maybe you can build an Endurocross track at the farm.
Or I'll just keep racing GNCC and maybe do some motocross instead. That's a lot more enjoyable.
All right. Wuss. What about the TKO?
I don't know, man. It's like I like to have fun racing still. It's my job. I think the TK would be more enjoyable for me than say the Endurocross or something. But man, I don't know. Honestly, I'd rather go get my pro license again and go race some national motocross than that stuff. So.
That would be really cool.
Well, I mean, or I'd rather go to Europe and do WEC or something like that.
Yeah, that would be really cool. That would be the hot setup to be able to get more of that kind of racing fun. That would be the good times. Well, all right, dude. I know it's late. It's past your bedtime, and it's going to be the same for Hoop here in a second. So, thank you for being on the show. We really, really appreciate it. Good luck at Steel Creek. Have fun out there, and I don't know, keep being Australian and awesome.
Yeah, I'll try.
Roll it. Well, how do you say, does good day, mate, work at nighttime, or is that just a morning thing?
That's like good. Well, good day. Good day's short for good day.
Right.
So it wouldn't work it.
What do we say? Like good night?
Or just. We say we're very rude. Oh, I'm very rude. It's usually.
Fuck off.
Usually night. Just night. See you later.
Not.
Not.
All right, Mr. Josh Strang, we really appreciate you being on the show. We look forward to chatting with you in the future, and we'll have all the technical stuff worked out so you get to bed kind of on time.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right, man. Take it easy.
See you.
Later. Hoop, just a couple more things for us is I do want to say thank you very much to our good friends over at Ride PG, big supporters of Seat Time. And with that, they do have a discount code. You can go to their website, ridepg.com, and you can put in the discount code Seat Time. Save yourself some money. They do have a lot of fun, ready-to-ship options. They have next-day shipping as long as you get your order in before 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So you have to wake up a little early if you want to do that or you're on the West Coast. But, hey, depends if you wanted same-day shipping or not. So got to make it happen. If you're looking for any kind of graphics for your bikes, obviously stickers for your kids, wraps for your cars. You could do T-shirts, butt patches, heat press, all that fun stuff for your jerseys. You can do that through Powersport Graphics. You go to ridepg.com. Use the discount code SEATTIME. We definitely thank those guys for their support and being with us for such a long, long time. So we've got the National Enduro coming up this weekend, round 2 in Concho. Now, you're not going to be there this year, unfortunately, Hoop, it sounds like. But from last year, did you have any expectations?
Yeah, Charlie's going to wax everybody.
Yeah? No, he looks like he's on it.
He was killing everybody last year. Remember, he blew his bike up and they did a motor change in the middle of the thing in like 15 minutes or something. Yeah, he'll kill everybody.
Yeah, I know. Andrew DeLong did really good last year getting his podium there. It'd be cool to see him get a little bit better luck. It doesn't seem like for some reason the Husky team has been having that great of luck.
Exactly. The whole deal, right? Like Argybright's had a couple good results, but he's also like had some DNS. Man, that I don't understand. Like,
yeah. I wonder if it was put together too quick.
Yeah, but it's like just throw some white plastic on a freaking KTM and call it good until you get the shit sorted out instead of not finishing races, right?
Well, that's what Kailub Russell Bobbitt did at the Burnt Gin. He had his Husky wasn't there yet, so he was on a KTM.
No, I'll give Russ credit. Russ was on it, man, at the first Enduro, and he
that sucks.
Crashed and got hurt, and that sucked. So yeah, it's like, man, Andrew had a problem. Didn't even make a lap this past weekend.
Mike Brown was supposed to be at both the GNCCs, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and he hasn't been in either, right? So that's
just
interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either, but it doesn't look good. I know they're wanting to keep everything separate, from them and the KTM team and all that, and it's definitely separate, at least at the races.
Yeah.
It's definitely different than the Husaberg deal.
Right.
It's like last year Russ was on a bird, but he was like under the
KTM rig. Yeah,
right.
He was
so, like,
his mechanic was there.
No denying what was going on there. So I don't know, man.
I heard a rumor that there's going to be a new Husky logo in the near future, that they're going to get rid of the gun sight around the H.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm kind of shocked by that. I mean, that's so iconic. So I hope it's not like the Gap where they try to change it and there's so much social flack that they change it back because it was stupid.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It's pretty iconic, right?
Yes, I mean, so maybe it's an update. I don't know. I've just kind of heard different people talking about it. That one of the things that not just along with R&D right now that's already started for 2016 models of changes that we're going to see specific to Huskies, we should as well start to expect to see other changes that that are going to reignite the brand. So and the logo was one of those things, which is interesting. I'm going to have fun this weekend. I am going to be on a Husky. I'm going to be on the FE350. It is our local reps. So our local rep, Ty Howard, here is KTM and Husqvarna rep now. He is not going to be able to make the race. He just got his new bike in. He's ridden it once at the Quidquet Enduro in Texas. He said, "Hey, I was joking with him when he was going to Cali for his meetings and stuff. I was like, 'You get me at 350. Bring it back. It's mine. I want to race it.'" And he texted me and he was like, "Well, I know you were joking, but now I'm not." And so I get to race that this weekend. And I'm in the A30 class. I'm not going to be setting any fires by doing an awesome job or nothing. So switching a bike and riding something I don't know that well, it's not going to change much for me, to be completely honest. So I'm going to have fun. It'll be cool.
Dude, enjoy it. I'm sorry I won't be there, but I hate to let you down. But
No. My hair swoop will not look the same. It just won't.
I know.
Okay. What should we expect from Steel Creek? If there's anybody that knows GNCC history very well, you're definitely one of them. You and Rodney. So, what do you think we should expect to see at Steel Creek, as long as we don't say mud?
See, this is where I have a hard time making predictions. I'm afraid people are always going to think I'm biased. But I think you're either going to see Strang or Kailub win at Steel Creek. Those guys go super good there. It's going to be Kailub, Charlie, and Strang out front. I think they'll murder everybody. That's my prediction. Maybe Unadilla-esque finish from last year with those three guys way out front.
Yeah,
You know,
that would be cool.
Strang's won there a lot. Kailub freaking dominated 2 years ago. I remember that was probably one of my favorite shots I've ever got at a GNCC was him with his helmet off, getting a drink before second place ever came through. I was like, so sick. Like, man, just gnarly, right? And then, Charlie won for the first time there last year. You remember I think it was 3 years ago when he crashed in the last turn and gave Strang the win. That might be one of the better to the finish GNCC races I've ever seen. So we've had some pretty good races there before. So going all the way back to 2007 when Paul Wibley ran me over and Glenn Carney crashed into the scoring lady and broke her leg, and then Barry Hawk won. So I don't know what the deal is with that place, but it sets up some awesome races. But I think Strength's due, man. He hasn't won one in a year. Right. I know he's my buddy and all that, so everybody thinks I'm biased or whatever, but I think he'll be solid there. He was running really good there last year, and then crashed with a lapper and tore his MCL. So that was kind of like the start of the end of his of any sort of title contention or great season last year. So I think those three guys are going to get out front and just check out from everybody. That's my prediction.
Well, cool. I as well. I'm not a big about predictions as well. I like to talk about racing that I like to see. And so far, even though it has been Mudfest and stuff like that, I've really enjoyed watching the live webcast. I just hope that the quality stays up. That's my want and desire. Not that they haven't had it. It's been great, and I hope it stays there so that I can watch Steel Creek live from my garage, listen to it there, and it'll be a good time. Well, dude, I really, really appreciate you coming on the show, and I know that you as well run all kinds of fun websites and do all your own stuff. So where can people follow you and find out more about what you do?
Well, the website I run is digitaloffroad.com, but I also produce all the GNCC videos and stuff, so you see those on racertv.com and gnccracing.com. I don't know. I'm all over the place, man. I'm doing so much stuff now. I don't even know, but... If it looks like I did it, I probably did. It might just be for somebody else. So.
As long as you get the right watermark on the correct video.
Dude, all I care is if they send me a check within 60 days of doing the work. Fuck, I don't even care about the watermark anymore.
Don't overfill your plate. You're gonna get yourself. You're gonna be like, we don't need that.
No.
Well, one day we're going to have to go to the
Thanks for having
ISDE.
me back, man. It was fun. It's been a while, so it was good. next time you don't have anybody on, no top riders. You like squeezed me in with like Kailub and Strang, like two of the bigger names on the series, and then I just kind of hung out most of the time. I didn't really have much to say. So
Well, hopefully this is just a good way for you to get your feet wet. You're always welcome. I definitely enjoy the roundtable effect a little bit better. I think it feels less interviewee, a little bit more showy. What I want to see Seat Time become. So definitely, if we can keep, we've got a few things to work out when it comes to the hangouts and stuff like that, processes. To figure out what the smoothest way to
you're
do
just
it.
pushing the boundaries, man. Pushing the boundaries of
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah, oh my God, the internet didn't know what hit it. I think we could
And now
have
that I
some
know
really cool
you,
shows.
and now I know you got some money and you're paying people, I might ask. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna high five you with virtual awesomeness, and I'm gonna send you one of the beer Olympics pint glasses that I have left over.
Yeah.
That I can do.
I tried to find my seat time koozie. I think I left it on my boat, so I don't know. I was gonna use it for the show, but I didn't, so I'm sorry.
At least it's somewhere. And
I got my empties though. I wasn't You were like drinking Coke or whatever the fuck was going on.
I'm not lying. I'm feeling like shit. So you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, we'll have to remedy that situation the next go around.
2 weeks, we'll see it back again. Woo! We'll be like, I don't even like clothes. They suck. We'll go to the ISDE together again, and then we'll just drink a lot every night that we get done and our feet hurt.
Yeah.
That'll be the way
Works
to do
for
it.
me.
Well, cool, dude. Well, I'm going to outro the Seat Time stuff, so if you need to drop off, you feel free, and we will definitely chat in the near future.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah,
Take it easy,
man.
All
All right, so what
Good.
you guys have been seeing, Seat Time. We've had Jason Hooper on, giving us some insight there from all the GNCC work that he's been doing, been at some of the National Enduros this year, well, the one round we've had, and got to talk with Kailub Russell and Josh Strang. We talked about some other interesting stuff, too, as we were having some difficulties, but got a chance to really discuss some topics. We don't get a chance to do that too much because of the fact that we have so many interviews. So hopefully you guys like the format a little bit better. Went a little bit longer than we really wanted to be honest, but hey, it happens. So this has been Seat Time. Seat Time, the online show for the off-road enthusiasts. You can find us at our website, seattime.co. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/seattime, Twitter, twitter.com/seattime_co, because we change it up a little bit, and then Instagram. Our username is just Seat Time. It's actually one word. If you don't get a chance to watch the shows live, or maybe it's too long for you to watch the whole thing live, if you'd like to tune in after the fact, of course you can. We post everything to the site. You can find it there. If not, subscribe to us on YouTube. We upload everything there. And if that doesn't work out too well for you, of course, iTunes and Stitcher, great way to listen to the show while you're driving to races. Even Kailub Russell said while he was going down to Florida, he had it up while he was checking it out. So that's cool to hear. Cool to find out. We really appreciate Fly Racing for being such a big supporter of Seat Time, Ride PG, and the guys over at Stillwell Performance. If you guys want to know more about Stillwell Performance, you go to stillwellperformance.com. They've got some really, really cool riders learning all about the dampening duties that they've got going on over there, like Cody Webb, Corey Grifunder, Kyle Redmond, and Luis Forsley. You can head to their website, call them at the shop, and ask how they can make your off-road experience that much better. Tell them Seat Time sent you, and we know that you'll get a special treatment for sure. My advice is to definitely go to their website, stillwellperformance.com, and check out their adjustable link guard. Not just good for the KTM with the new linkage on the bikes. It actually can be used for a lot of other reasons like that if you're looking to change your geometry just a little bit and don't have the money to buy full-on new triple clamps. Check it out, Stillwell Performance. Big thanks to those guys. Big thanks to Fly Racing for their support of Seat Time and for the Pintful of Awesome Award. And, of course, the guys over at Ride PG. You can find those guys at their websites. We really appreciate it. It's been 2 hours of Seat Time. I feel like crap. I'm going to sleep. I'm all hopped up. It's kind of interesting. But remember, always enjoy a Pintful of Awesome, and we will definitely see you guys next Tuesday.